work that I do with my foundation, the Manifest Your Destiny Foundation, where the work I do in underserved communities with a lot of the young people and their parents, what started to come back to me was I would ask them, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your community to look like? And many of the answers that would come back had to do with money, the excuses, the scapegoating, the idea that my community can't look the way I want it to look unless I have these resources, this money, or I can't go to school, I want to train or learn this, I don't have the money. I want to, even folks who want to be green, I talk to them, well, Hill, I really want to be more green, but I can't afford to put up those solar panels. I can't afford to do what being truly green would be. And then you start to take a look at the green movement, and a lot of the people are extremely well-intentioned, yet there seems to be a lot of fear around this idea of being entrepreneurs, around actually building wealth in the green movement. A lot of folks say, well, you know what, I'm going to have the smallest footprint, which also sometimes includes their bank account. And that doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve the movement. It doesn't serve when folks want to actually do something. Like, for instance, my foundation, I have to fund it. And for me to send multiple kids to my free summer empowerment academy, it's not free. So to the extent that I could be and do well in the for-profit space, I can use the profit to actually seed and do good work. So when we think about environmental entrepreneurship, we need to think about the opportunities that exist around actually creating sustainable businesses that can, number one, provide jobs in the community, much needed jobs. Number two, provide training. And number three, actually bring wealth into communities that are traditionally underserved and underrepresented. If we want to do reductive work around incarceration rates that Pandora mentioned, around dropout rates, we know that there are wealth factors connected to how well schools perform, what the jobless numbers are in a particular community, and what the incarceration rates are in that community. So if I'm talking about being an individual who wants to make direct community empowerment impact, then I have to talk about actually creating jobs and creating wealth in the community. And we're going to leave that conversation out and just talk about how small the footprint we're going to have, then I believe we can't have sustainability. Because ultimately, you need income for sustainability. And a lot of people don't want to talk about income in this movement because, it's not cool, or no one wants to be associated with capitalism, or no one wants to be associated with these. But we have to discuss these things. We have to talk about what type of businesses are we going to build? What type of training can we have in the community? We talk about, in Los Angeles, the Black and Latino communities, we're talking about Black males, Latino males, we're talking about jobless rates above 35%. Nationally, we're at 9% and people are horrified. In our communities, we're talking about 35% jobless rates among Latino and African American men. The environmental movement doesn't take, someone who has 2 graduate degrees from Harper to know that there are jobs in this space. So how can we start connecting this idea of out-of-work individuals who are ultimately going to have to do some type of job that's more vocational in nature, weatherizing homes, learning to put up solar panels, learning to do environmental scaping and landscaping that is sustainable in nature.